Here's part 3 of the DataQuest from a DataBricks consulting firm interview project. That became my master's Illinois State thesis project. Here we're going to serverlessly data engineer a pipeline on Amazon Web Services and Lambda. So right here we're connecting to our buckets, and if we're missing anything, it's going to print out. Here we connect it to both buckets, and we printed that everything works, and I'm not printing out any of the information. So the two buckets are here underneath the raw data. Here's where they are for the BLS API. And the second part is where they are for the data populations here. So here we are. We connect to them, and we can see that we are connected with a number of buckets. I just don't want to put out any confidential information. And here we're going to read the files. So here's one of them, and the JSON files, and we're going to basically merge them. And the important part about this project is that it should all be dynamic. So in this case, we can change the year to whatever we want, and it's still going to run very easily. And that's something that I've done all across. I'll show you later too. So here we are. We're going to use this. We're going to make sure that the columns are all the same, and if you don't do this, it actually doesn't work. Some of the columns had white space, so it won't run. And here is what I'm talking about when I say dynamic, is that we can easily change the data, the population years, the series IDs, or the columns, and it will run. And same with here. So here are the columns that we want, and when we filter it, this is the type of data we get. And then we end up mapping it at the very end with a scatter plot. This is what it looks like in the end. So this is part 3, and this is the data analytics part where we're combining the data and analyzing the data after we made the actual pipelines. A lot of times these days, people do both. And like I said, the most important part is that this is all dynamic, where it can be changed and updated without having to change the year over and over and things like that. And another important part is that all of the storage is all hidden within the AWS, and we don't leak any of the credentials using secret keys. This part is somewhat of the easier part of all the 3 sections. It's just more of the analytics part and not necessarily data engineering. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.